So my grandfather was a World War II hero who has killed probably like 300 Nazis. And we had no idea until 20 years after his death. My name is David Roman. I'm the author and illustrator of the Eternal Horizon series. I also paint. I do all sorts of things. I work out. Buddy, it's my cat. I started this channel where I'm talking about my art videos and art-related stuff. Art with a David, that's what I call it. I decided to branch off the art sometimes and just talk about, yours truly. So in this one, I'm going to talk about one of my grandfathers. Both my grandfathers fought in World War II. My dad's dad actually was caught by the Nazis. He was caught by the Nazis and he ran away. He ran away from their labor camp. And if he didn't run away, I wouldn't have existed because that was before my dad was born. It's a crazy story. But yeah, my other grandpa, mom's dad, see, we knew he fought World War II. He was wounded in Czechoslovakia. That's how his campaign ended. We knew that. We knew he had an order of the Red Star, it's like a big, and he almost had an order of Lenin. But he never really talked about it. Like, he never really told us what he did. He just told mom, you know what, I worked in a tank. That's what he said. I never killed anyone. That's what he said. He was in a tank all day. He was loading stuff, and he had nothing to do with it. But grandma told mom, I was like, no, he was a lieutenant. He was a big deal. And he had all these orders. He would wear all these orders, because later on in his life, he got run over by a truck. He got jumped during the pogroms. He got jumped. I'll get there. And he was kind of already, he was not all there. But I remember the kid. He would put on his uniform and he would sit there and he would talk to Zhukov and he would talk to, Stalin, Tavarish Stalin, he would practically, But yeah, he was a hero and we didn't know that. We didn't know that till after he died. He died in 1993. We didn't even know that till 2015. So what happened in 2015 is Russia released a website, Pamять Naroda, Memory of the Nation, and where they listed all the participants of World War II and all the database they had. And we found out, my mom's uncle, we never knew what happened to him. And it said, he died in this battle. This guy disappeared there. So we started looking up, and I looked up my grandpa's last name. I was like, holy shit. Because I didn't realize there were so many Armenians from the region fighting in World War II. So let's go to my grandpa. So grandpa, we never knew when he was born. Some said 1915, grandpa said 1916. He was born in 1918 in Shushi, which was a contested region because in 1918, that's when Soviet Union, when the Russian Empire collapsed and all three of the Caucasian republics, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, claimed independence, and that region was heavily Armenian populated, Shushi, and the Karabakh situation. That was the first actually conflict. So his dad, my great grandfather, was killed during the pogrom. There was 20,000 in 1920. 20,000 Armenians died in Shushi, and ironically, it happened again in 2020. My grandpa's mom, she took her they had 3 kids. And they all moved to Hadrut, which is a little bit further south in that region. It became Azerbaijan SSR, but ethnically, it was Armenian, Artsakh Armenians. So my grandpa's family's been living there forever. And he was pretty much, he lived there until he got recruited. His brother got recruited too, but his brother was killed, I believe. So yeah, he was recruited in 1941 as part of the 1087 Rifle Division of part of the 302nd, 72nd Rifle Division. So, and they have his entire warpath online, and we saw his entire warpath. So I'm gonna go slowly. It shows how he's leaving Hadrut. First battles around Tula. That's a defensive of Moscow. That's a bit, all those dots are battles. Well, skirmishes, maybe not majors. He's only been about 8-10 major battles, but about 60-70 skirmishes, if you can see all those little dots. So yeah, all those dots, those are all battles for Moscow. Battles for Moscow, going down to Kursk. That's the second major battle. He was pretty much, he started as a junior lieutenant, and he eventually became lieutenant, mortar division. He had, the soldiers that would load up mortars, and I think he had his own tank. He said he had his own tank, and I don't know if that division had tanks, but I mean, it makes sense, in order for him to survive so many battles. Yeah, in the Kursk battle, especially with the tanks, and then eventually more and more skirmishes going down to the Battle of Kiev. And the Battle of Kiev, I'm going to go into details on that. All those little tiny dots are battles around Kiev, all through Ukraine, and then I guess there's a lot of major battles there. I don't know what it is yet. Hold on, I'll have to look that up. Those are, let me see. This is the Zhytomyr and Lvov offensives, two major battles, and they went on, and then later he's already moving into, hold on. And then later he's already moving into Poland. Battle of Krakow and all the liberation. He liberated Auschwitz. We had no idea his division, the 372nd Division, they're the ones who liberated Auschwitz. We had and Brukov, all those camps, and eventually he got wounded in Czechoslovakia. I think before he, that was right after he won his thing. His Order of the Red Star. So yeah, that was right before Prague offensive. All right, he got wounded in April. Prague offensive was in May. So 8 to 10 major battles and about 70 skirmishes. I mean, come on, man. How many Nazis has he dropped? Come on, man. Grandpa was a legend. And the thing is, Artsakh Armenians, the Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians, that little portion in Azerbaijan, that had an Armenian population, they sent 60,000 people, to the army, and 23,000 died, but I think 92 came back with the highest honors. 2 were multiple heroes of the Soviet Union. And it was one village I remember sent 1,000, several thousand people, and it came back with 700 heroes. Armenians themselves sacrificed a lot. We sacrificed 300,000 people out of we sent over 500,000, and that's only 30 years after the genocide. So yeah, he earned his Red Star in January 28, 1945. Actually, that's right before he got wounded. Yeah, that's right before he got wounded. Let me tell you, this is the rest of his life. So, yeah, after World War II, after he got wounded, he got sent back, and he met my grandma in Hadrut. My grandma was actually a crypto-Greek. She was a Pontic Greek, and the thing is, Stalin sent a lot of Greeks away, especially from the Caucasus area. He sent them a lot to Central Asia, so a lot of them had to hide their identity. And my grandma was a Pontic Greek who adopted an Armenian last name, but and she spoke Armenian. I mean, that was her first language, obviously. Her grandfather moved there from Trebizond, I believe. So yeah, he met my grandma. My grandpa met her, and he kept pretending to be sick, so he could come back, and yada yada yada. They fell in love, and after World War II. They decided to, he had a job as a principal, but I think the wounds kept coming back. He just, I don't know. He kept taking time off, and finally, when he got back, they didn't want to give him his job back, and he decided to move to Baku. A lot of Armenians did that, and so they moved over there. They moved to Baku, and even though he couldn't really find a job in education again, he found a job as a construction. And after a while, they were able to get a house in mid-1950s, right after my mom was born. And eventually we lived there. Grandpa, he got hit by a truck. And that messed up his head. That really messed up his head. He was already by the time I was born, he was already not all there. And when the conflict with Azerbaijan started, I was a little kid. He got jumped. And I think it was one of my neighbors too, He told the guy, hey, the guy's Armenian. And they jumped. He's an old man. fucking they beat it, and he was like not all there. They jumped him and beat him up. And then eventually, you know, we had to flee. We fled in 1989. We fled the pogroms. There were several instances when they firebombed our houses. Yeah, we fled the pogroms, and we lived in a one-bedroom apartment. 11 people, man, we lived. My grandpa was there with us. And eventually, you know, my mom, my aunt, we got our own little place. We moved out, and he had a stroke, and he swallowed his tongue. And like, it's crazy. That's literally happened. He swallowed his fucking tongue, and by the time the meds got there, they couldn't get it out. They literally like, and he died like that. And at the end, you know, he kind of like sobered up. It's crazy, I know. Like, I don't know what happens. He sobered up. He realized he started crying, and like he couldn't eat and anything, you know. And he suffered like that, and he died. And that's his life, you know. He dedicated his life to he was communist. He was fucking communist, you know. He gave him his life, and this is how they. And again, you know, ambulance, none of that, you know, none of that. And I mean, and it's like he didn't live to see, you know, his like. He didn't understand what was going on. Like, he was already too old to understand that there was an ethnic conflict. So, you know, part of me, you know, there's like a little silver lining there that he did not understand what was happening to his people, pretty much, you know. So yeah, that's how the dad talked to us, through memories, you know, through the past, you know. And now, like, we found that out, and my mom, like, she was really glad, you know, that I found that out, that I gave her this information. She lived with it all her life, that they had no idea that our grandfather was a World War II hero and a Nazi killing machine. I mean, look at this, bro. Like, this guy liberated Auschwitz, man. He liberated Auschwitz. He liberated all those places, man. It's like he did all that, dude. It's like, and he survived. And even in the end, it's like, and if he didn't do that, I wouldn't be here. I would not exist if it wasn't, you know, like, not this. Just like if you would have, like, one bullet, man, one bullet. All those battles, man, the dude did it. What a hardcore generation, right? What a hardcore generation. So yeah, that was it. Just wanted to share this with you guys. Please check out my pages. Please check out Eternal Horizon on Amazon. Please subscribe, and I'll see you later.